Hey everybody, what is going on? My name is Matt and welcome back to Crypto Kings. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the insane surge that Shiba Inu has had on the day. I know so many people have been waiting for this and we're going to get into all of it. So if you guys are new, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more daily Shib vids, and let's get right into it, folks. So if you guys have not already seen exactly what we are working with here on the day, folks, this is beautiful. You guys can see a 12.39% increase here on the 24-hour here, sending us almost again over the 50 mark. And we actually passed that for a short period of time, and unfortunately did not last, but we did pass the 50 mark for a very short period of time. The market cap, of course, has climbed all the way back through $26.5 billion. If you guys remember, we were at around $21 billion just yesterday, so definitely nice to see that we have made great strides on market cap, and volume here over the past 24 hours has increased a good deal, which is always a sign of some kind of breakout. And of course, you guys can see that does appear to be what happened. Now, when we take a look at our graph here, there is so much to dissect, but weirdly, you could actually look at this and make a couple of different determinations. Now, the first determination that I think you could definitely make by looking at this graph is the fact that we've just had a sort of continual bounce off of these bottoms. Now, typically you'll see a triple bottom, which will be something like this, where you'll have 3 bounces off the bottom. This isn't exactly what we are seeing here. I mean, I'm sure someone could make an argument that this is a triple bottom. It is a little weird, and it doesn't really want to fit this sort of mark. So I wouldn't name this anything specifically. I wouldn't give this a triple bottom or anything like that specifically, but really what this is in general is just a sort of retraction above these bottoms that we were hitting. So again, you guys can see we hit 44, 45-ish, bounce back, 44, 45-ish, bounce back, 46, okay, bounce back, same thing here, 41, and we bounce back. So in all of these instances, you guys can see we are rocketing every time we hit this low right in the 40s. So this looks like a very, what I would say is reliable line of support. I mean, if we wanted to be conservative with our estimate, but still realistically, we definitely say that this 40 line really is the spot that we can't, at least for the time being, get below, or else there will be definitely some problems. So thankfully, again, we were able to avoid falling below the 40 line. We were able to stay above that. And because of that, we were able to have this incredible snapback here on the day, which, of course, is fantastic. Speaking of things that are fantastic, I just want to check out Webull. Top of the link down below in the description. It is so easy to do if you guys want to start trading stocks, crypto, including SHIB, all that good stuff. You guys can use my link at the top of the description and potentially get 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300 or some free Shiba Inu. It depends on what Webull is giving out, but definitely check it out. Top of the link down below in the description. When it comes down to it, guys, again, what we are seeing here in reality is what looks to be a very long falling wedge. And you could definitely make this argument because, well, if we start all the way here really from late October and head down to where we are now, this really does look like just a long falling wedge. Of course, you have a couple of exceptions. You have, a little bit of a mess kind of falling out right here on the 5th. You have a little bit that might not, fit 100% as gingerly as it should, in this graph. Maybe this should be filled out a little bit more. But regardless, it's still, in my opinion, could most closely be described as a loose falling wedge. Is a falling wedge that is not 100% again pertaining to the way it normally would look in a graph setting if you googled the perfect falling wedge. But regardless, I still think that is the movement that things here are making, and that is why we were able to see such an awesome breakout like this, because falling wedges typically do have a breakout like this. So again, that is probably the best case scenario if we are able to continue rising up maybe into the 60s or even 70s from the momentum that this run has given us. When we check the relative strength index, of course, you guys can see we are a little bit above at one point. Once we reach above 50, we are a little bit above what the relative strength index here considers to be normal. So this time period here is technically considered to be oversold. So because of that, or overbought actually at the 50 line. So above 50 here, we are overbought. Here we are oversold. So we are able to gain momentum, get all the way up. We get up to around 52. And then, oh my goodness, way too many people are buying. Okay, we have to have a little bit of a pullback. And that's why we are back down to around 60 on the relative strength index, which is completely normal. shows that we still have a ton of headroom to work with here, because really, if we wanted to, we could keep trading above the relative strength index here, even on, for a lot of the day, and still probably be fine, because I think that, the momentum that moves like this create are so oftentimes parabolic that it really doesn't matter whether or not we are outside the relative strength index. I think most people don't really care. I think, if there's enough social media pull, it could really do anything, even if it doesn't, apply to typical market conditions. Because again, going up 57% in volume on the day is always a sign of a surge, and SHIB is doing extremely good. Comparatively, everything else is doing nicely, but SHIB is doing good comparatively to everything else on here. So again, definitely wonderful to see. When we check the Fibonacci retracement, you guys can see, of course, it is going to tell us the high and the low of the most recent run. So we have the bottom here of the most recent run all the way here at around 40. So the very, very low. This is the lowest that SHIB has been in a long time here at 40. Then the top 44.5 at the time. This is the top of the run at the time. It hasn't even charted all of this. The autofib has not even charted what has gone on here, but just so you guys can see an understanding of how this run happened, you guys can see at multiple instances, we're just bouncing off. We are making no, difficulty getting past these lines of support and resistance. So again, you guys see we bounce off the 61.8% line here, again, head up to the 38.2% line here. We bounce off of that, head up again to the 23.6% line, and bounce off of that, and then it is nuclear from there. So, these fib levels were very, very easy to bounce off of, to manipulate, to get this run going. Now, where do I see SHIB going within the next 24 hours? Well, it is definitely a good question, but what I could say is I think that from this most recent run, we will establish a new line of support somewhere a little bit higher. Again, it looks like it's still going to be in the 40s because it did get rejected here at 52. So it does look like it's going to be somewhere in the 40s, but I would guess very possibly that, if you were to go up the same amount here, you have the 161.8% line here on the fib. Let's say you went up the same amount roughly. Let's say you went up this amount. I could see something like this being a new line of support somewhere around here, maybe 46, 45, something like that being a new line of support, and then we could very possibly just bounce off of that in the near future here. So a lot to look forward to in terms of SHIB's price, in my opinion, because again, we are able to, snap back from these very upsetting lows where people are like, oh my goodness, it's going to zero, yada, yada, yada. It shows that we are able to snap back from that, which is just absolutely incredible. When we check the MA cross, of course, you guys can see the red is finally over the green again, showing a bullish sign here. So still bullish it looks for the near future, and that is definitely, of course, quite good. So with that being said, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more daily SHIB vids here on the channel. Make sure to check out Webull, top of the link down below in the description. My name is Matt. See you guys on the next one. Peace.